Mm-hmm.
The sportos, the motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads, they all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
A chat with you and somehow death loses its sting.
I never thought anybody could forget so much so fast without a severe blow to the head.
And you know, when you say per capita, this many per capita is just like per capita relative to what?
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Karen.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
We need you. Hell, I need you. I'm a mess without you. I miss you so damn much. I miss being with you. I miss being near you. I miss your laugh. I miss your scent. I miss your musk. When this all gets sorted out, I think you and me should get an apartment together. I love lamp.
You're not hearing what I'm saying.
Oh, that's okay, Doc, because you're not saying what I'm hearing.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
He thinks I made it up.
Unbelievable.
Well, hello everybody. How are you? How are you doing? You okay? Is everybody holding it together all right? I'm worried about you. Does it sound okay? Is everything all right? I know the world is crazy around us right now. It has been in a series of kind of overlapping crazies lately, and I don't want you guys to... Am I very hot? Oh, I'm very loud. Oh, I'm very hot. Too hot lady. Is that a little better? Gotta run for shelter. Gotta run. Oh, I'm over modulated. Oh, that's right, because I turned it up for Steph's cam today, and their stuff is so quiet that you can't. Yeah, there you go. That should be a little better. I have to send them such a hot signal. Is this better? Good to see you. I hope so. Well, look out. I hope my microphone is hot. The world is hot. I mean, what do you expect? The world is on fire. It's still overmodulated, or is it okay now? It's good? Better. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you guys. you guys do realize that you're my producer until we Patreon our way up to a level where we can get one. That's what this is, because that's what a producer would basically do, is from another source be able to run me through some of this stuff and make sure that everything sounds all right before we hit the air. Yeah. So, hi. Hey, everybody. Good to see you guys, other than on Twitter, in this raging shite storm that we all are in right now. I'm going to reiterate something that I said on Stephanie Miller's show this morning, for those of you that were lucky enough to tune in and hear the dulcet tones. It is very important that in this situation where we find ourselves in, where rioters and protesters are sort of intermingling and it's hard to get a grasp on who's on your side until it's sort of too late, that my advice to everybody would be to avoid any of the on-street protests until an organized march is done. And even in that situation, broad daylight, moments of silence, those kind of things, which are helpful and visible, avoiding the late night police clashes that don't help anyone and paint a poorer picture of the community that we're trying to serve in this. And I believe that to be intentional on a lot of the people, on the part of the people who are messing with things. And I would say, be ready with your broom when this is all done. Thank you, Richard. I might take you up on that since I have your connection to there. What's going on with the White House with Operation Bridge Troll? Yeah, Operation Fubar Eagle is going very well.
How, in the name of Zeus's butthole, did you get out of your cell?
So, yeah, so I went on there today, and that was on Steph's show, and that was one of the things I want everybody to come away with this, is that the sad part of this, and I do not think it's an accident by a good part of the interlopers and the mischief makers in this, is that there is an intent to not only heighten tensions, foment discord, raise tensions to the point where more people get killed, but also to, in the cover of this, burn down and damage black-owned businesses, so that even in this economic downturn that's attached, by the way, to a pandemic that we're all in, that this will make it even harder for them to catch up and get back on their feet after this. I mean, everybody's got it bad, and you're going to kneecap some of these black-owned businesses? Forget it. So my hope would be is that if you live in one of these cities, things calm down for a couple of weeks, you notice you go by and somebody's got a busted window and you have the means and wherewithal to fix it, or you can go, hey, what color would you like the front of your store painted? Because I would like to come down here with some friends on Wednesday for about 6 hours and put a couple of coats of paint on here and make it look nice for you if we can, and offer to do that. I intend to do that. We'll see what the window is on that. And of course, the pandemic plays a part in that, so be careful. But there's also no doubt going to be a rise of infections in this highly contagious disease over the next couple of weeks because of all the people who are interacting and those people who are returning home after those interactions and may come into contact with people with diminished immune systems or are older, or some of these very, very young kids who are impacted by these strange offshoots. That said, there was an article I just read that has to do with the fact that it was on Medium. I posted it earlier. And again, this is simply because, there is no way to strategize a behavior pattern based on this new information. It is just strictly good to know that there's people who are looking into this possibility that COVID-19 and SARS-CoV-2, which was named SARS-CoV-2 because of its related respiratory syndrome aspects, being that SARS is severe acute respiratory syndrome, seeing the first people coming in with the inability to breathe in this, in the secondary infections that they believe are pneumonia, when ultimately they use antibiotics for any type of pneumonia, which seems to stack on other stuff, and the cytokine storm that comes from it, which could be related to the treatments themselves. There's a lot of the reasons why people could be dying from this, but that it turns out it may be more related to the blood than to the lungs in particular. And just the way it gets into your system is through the esophagus and the lungs, like a lot of things. And then it spreads through that way. That's why heart attack, stroke, blood clots, anybody who's got a history of those problems or has an untreated or undiagnosed proclivity towards those type of illnesses or possible maladies are in higher danger because of this. So in the chat room, let's roll back and say hi. And by the way, hello everybody. Hey Carl. Hey Rocky Mountain Mike. What's good to see you, Maria. Hi Michael. Good to see you, Jim. Operation Sweeping Broom. I think it's a great idea. I'm just saying, Richard, that would be a valuable user. Natalie Zamba is saying ABC 7 News Chicago. Amid looting and protests in Chicago, police made nearly 700 arrests as the 911 center received 65,000 calls in a 24-hour period. There's no doubt. And there'll be well over 1,000 of those. And Arlene, I saw your tweets from earlier. I'm glad you watch Steph every day. That's very cool. Hopefully we'll see you guys at the Sexy Liberal show. Too many producers is like too many cooks. How about what's no producers? That no cooks is obviously part of a problem. There you go. So love you too, Christine. Thank you. Excellent. Okay, now I'll roll ahead and we'll get kind of up in this. Hey, Zelda. They're even marching in Coral Springs, Florida right now to Stoneman Douglas. Great. Welcome, Keith. Nice to have you here, I hope. It's always hard to tell with Periscope people. There's so many trolls and stuff. And they open with pleasantries and then they devolve into monstrosities. Well, you know, if you were in the White House, you'd go in the bunker too. I'm not saying this who you are, Keith. I'm just saying I'm a little gun shy with saying how do you do's to certain corners of the internet, you know. Trump is speaking at 6:15 Eastern. Oh, glorious. It's gonna be live. It's going to be live stuff. That's great. I had other stuff lined up for us to talk about, just in case, you know, because there really wasn't. I'll show you. So, like, this is the story I was telling you guys about. Coronavirus may be a blood vessel disease, which explains everything. Many of the infection's bizarre symptoms have one thing in common: the fact that they affect the blood. All that kind of stuff. Outside the Rose Garden. Oh, so good. These people will not be able, we will, you know, they want to do it inside. They can't because he's been living in 5 minutes. Oh, this is so sweet. Okay, let me switch back to me, and I'm going to dig up this page because I had the remarks from the space shuttle we were going to do. I had this little ad that they did, which was super embarrassing and kind of gorgeous. Oh, so good. Mwah. Let's see what the man is. Oh, it's going to be so good. Right from the White House. Oh, this is so good. Now, but I need to find, let's see, I'm going to go back to this because I want to find the White House's, like, usually it's like time or, let's see, Trump press. Let's see. There we go. So it's going to be, no, it's a press conference. We'll find it. I'll just go to White House. It's fine. We'll if they're not going to play this stuff. Oh, this is so good. All right, now it does say, check this out. This is what it always says when I come up on live stream starting soon. Now, I understand that those who live in green screen houses should not throw paints of another, I don't know what the analogy would be. It's ridiculous. About them starting late. But I would like to remind everyone that I do this from my house with my own stuff. And I'm not the president of the United States. And I don't have literally a staff of 150 people making sure things happen on time. You know what I mean? Like, this is a little, yeah, that's why I am not, because they have to be still working on these statements. You know what I mean? This is, yeah, the Broom Brigade. Oh my God, what a great name for that, Christopher. Christopher Crashes. Well done. The Broom Brigade will, you know, hashtag Broom Brigade is going to go out and try and and clean things up. ABC 7, Chicago, a few hours, 92 shot, 27 fatally in Chicago's most violent weekend of 2020. Sadly, look how they have to categorize that, Natalie, as most violent weekend of 2020, because that is not even the record for especially the Austin part of that. Keith's not a troll. My partner loves you and said I had to check you out. Love Stephanie too. That's great, Keith. No problem. I'm only playing around largely. But I always get that like, oh, hi, new person. Oh, God. And then, but I'm sure you're great and welcome, and I'm glad you're here. Yeah, he's got to climb up the ladder out of the bunker. Summer went to Starbucks and came back with a refresher. It was lovely. There's a People's March going on now in downtown Baltimore. I think that's great, Mike. I'm all for the daylight marches and these peaceful protests that are, with overwhelming numbers of human beings. That, we as a society, and this is a media thing too, need to stop ignoring those parts, those elements of protest. So, and you guys know I'm all up on this stuff. You know what's funny is I look at Twitter especially, and I see the people who are sharing clips of police brutality, of the violent clashes between protesters and the police and all this stuff, and I see the reactions from what I would say our side of the aisle, if you want to put it that way, and they retweet them and they send them out, and it's great, and I'm glad they do. But the reality is it ends up, because of how the internet is a series of digital cul-de-sacs right now, that you're basically beyond preaching to the choir, you're screaming at the choir. And there has to be, will he have a teleprompter? That's the big question, Alex. There has to be a point where you go, okay, how do I take what I'm watching here that I have total sympathy for and present it in a way that will win over some of the other sides that might be steeled against it because they fear reacting to it, if they let it in. Yes, the police taking a knee part was so great. And I'm sure you guys saw the Biden picture of him kneeling while talking to the protester. That wasn't an accident. He knows what he's doing, and he's listening. And then he went to a church and had a listening session with those folks. Like, the simplest things seem so ultimately presidential right now. And there's a danger, Adam, right, of living in our own echo chamber, because it's not even that other people might not be sympathetic to what we're trying, but you develop a vernacular, a shorthand of language, just like people who work on a factory floor or in a particular industry together. There's a tendency for a lot of people that if they're around each other a lot, they talk in band talk, you know what I mean? Or like, you ever see military guys and the number of acronyms that they drop, beyond even, like FUBAR and all that kind of stuff. They'll go, the DCI is talking to about the T920 to the NCD, and she came back with a OMD that I couldn't even read. Like, when you're talking like that, you kind of exclude everyone else. It's not that I wouldn't understand you if you started reaching out to me, and not that I wouldn't understand the importance of what you're doing or what parts I'm supposed to know. I'm sorry, I will fix that if it's too sharp. I get very excited and loud when I'm talking to you folks, and you could overall bring my volume down. I will bring it down to the warm, somehow, areas of whatever the things they're doing. Oh, I remember what this is. Did we take the gain off? Was it the compressor? Yeah, something like that. Bank. I'll just take that down a bit. Dun, dun, dun. Hopefully it's getting a little better. Oh, thanks, Paul. Belage, merci. It's distortion, not volume. Great. Good to know. Thank you. That's, I think, because the gain is on this thing. I'll fix that. Yeah, because it saves with different things. Check 1. Check 2. Hopefully it's a little better. It's not very loud in here, but I have like 19 different levels. It's all so weird. Thank you so much. Fuzzy, but level is okay. All right. Warm, dulcet tones, as you are. Here you are. Yes, we'll fix it. I just don't want it to be too much. And all right, so it was supposed to be 5 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago? Right? Any gain on your mic? No, there's no gain on my mic. As a matter of fact, I'm down -6 dB. So it's somewhere in in the software, the stacking software of all these things. Let's see, let's check in the stream audio, make sure that's okay. No, that's on its own. All right, so then we go into the input thing and see if it got jacked up in the fooling around that I was doing. Oh, Rebecca, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate that. Let's see if I can get this out here. Sound. We'll go to input. We'll try oh, wait a minute. External microphone. Yeah, it got jacked up because it was there. There we go. I think this will fix it. Ta-da! That should make it more tolerable, so it's less painful on your ears. Yay! All right. Now I can turn the audio back up and the volume's okay. There was some flickering. Was there flickering? There was flickering. I saw a flickering of the Trump delivers remarks things, and then it went away. Did they think he was almost? Was it? Were they messing with me? Just shared on Tumblr. Oh, excellent. Lovely. Here we go. So we're still waiting on these. Ooh, less crackling. That's good. Live stream starts soon. Soon to be operative word. Well, that's the thing. Like this, I get in when I'm prepping with you guys, and before I had a regular time I was on the air, before I was on at 3 o'clock with some regularity in my own time zone, that was the kind of ballpark of when they were doing these things. So I was kind of just whenever they got around to it. And some of it would get bumped so far. Like, granted that, it's the presidency. So lots of stuff can throw a monkey wrench into these things. But in a normal presidency, I would go, oh, wow, they're late for this press conference. They must be on a phone call with a foreign leader about something we don't even know about. But that wasn't the case in this one. He was just banging out a rail of Adderall and getting his hair, helicoptered on with a drone. Gain structure, look it up. Oh, simmer down, Dave R. I know how to do that. I just have 3 sources on it. I do find that I had thank you, Andy. I am running 3 elements of software that control audio within the computer itself, and that's far too many things going on at one time. Why is Barr staring at the protesters? Barr is a cretin. I mean, there is no other, he's one of the worst people in the government, hands down. And he's the kind of person who makes Trump scary, because on his own, Trump would just flail around signing cartoonish executive orders that would have a court stay put on them the second the ink was dry, and would never pass the sniff tests constitutionally. But these folks come in and figure out a way to, clean up his mess and make it more useful for him in that regard, So for me, I think, they're worse than he is in that regard. I mean, it goes, and the Hitler analogy, I'm sure I'll get torn apart for it, as you always do. Are you saying that Donald Trump is Hitler? Like, no. But because Hitler had a plan and was at least functional at some point, and it was his ideas. Anyways, oddly enough, Hitler was scariest because of the people around. It's like Manson too. Manson on his own was kind of a wuss, but it was the people he talked into stuff they were like, oh, well, we'll take this seriously. He found the right people to carry it out for him. They were far more vicious one-to-one. Was it Himmler, who was just thrived on murdering people, liked seeing it face to face, an area where Hitler was effectively squeamish about it, and embarrassingly so, probably. He found the people who would carry crap out for him, That's always the concern. It's which is why the cabinet matters, all that stuff. I don't know where these idiots are going. Let's see. While we're waiting for that, I want to play around a little of this, because I just needed to do a bit of this just for me. And we'll see. I'll check in on the other stuff. You guys can let me know if I miss it. Himmler was a former chicken rancher. Well, there you go. That's all the information I needed, Carl. Did you ever see, like, my neighbor taught me how to kill chickens, and the cold, steely gaze of a chicken killer is frightening for nearly everyone. Somebody just walks up, just grabs a chicken, never leaves your, like, locks your eyes during it. You're like, ugh, my neighbor is a monster. So here you go. By the way, this is a presidential address at NASA for a launch. And listen to the intro. That's his campaign music. Why he gets to come out or comes out to campaign music. And by the way, I have to skip around so they don't lose my, like, get a copyright strike. Look at this. And they like go back there and then walk towards it because we need that shot because we're making campaign ads. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Applaud me. Applaud me. Applaud me. Oh, and then he, like, invariably, oh my God, does he just wander around while it's still playing? Oh, he went into the second verse. From the land that I left burning as I hid in my bunker and I stared out a darkened window. All right. No, this was day before yesterday. He's going to come back out. I've still got that running in the background. We'll see when he comes out. We won't miss that. Why? Literally, look at this. Just sashaying back and forth like a wrestler. This is God Bless the USA, or what is it? The Lee Greenwood, Proud to Be an American. I don't even, I'm blitzing on the name of the song because I'm so used to the lyrics. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. Where an orange Hitler manic man can tell the National Guard to open fire on me. All right. It's time we stay. He's just, look at this. He's just letting the whole thing. And again, they've got him on the short leash. All right, set it up. Here we go. Get all your footage. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, please. Big day is a big day. And I want to thank our great Vice President.
Whatever his name is. What's your name? Well, I don't remember. Was there
Once it was, you have nobody. We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Karen.
Okay.
For your fearless and tireless commitment to fulfilling America's destiny in space. Thank you very much, Mike. Great job. Great job.
Great job, Mike, as the Vice President, allowing NASA to have the budget the Democrats have wanted to have for 3 decades. Thank you, Philly Dana.
We're also grateful to Mike's wonderful wife, Karen.
Oh, he got it right this time. Look at that. It got to him. It got to him. Look at how distinctly he pronounced this. This made it back to him because I didn't see anybody else carrying that stuff.
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Karen.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm the only person who pulled that clip and played it like I did and floated it all over the internet. As a matter of fact, I know I am. And I know it bounced around the internet for days. And he was like, Karen, woof. Yeah, he totally paused to say Karen right. Oh my God. That's a win for this channel and a win for this show. I am the only person that pointed that out. I am proud to say that we have changed the course of Mike Pence's life.
For being here and for all she does for our country. Thank you. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you for providing us with beta carotene and for making us orange if we eat too many of you.
Before going further,
Just
we're
really.
honored to have with us today our
Oh.
amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Karen.
Yeah.
On this exciting day for all America in space,
Space.
I want to say a few words about
Breathlessly talking about space. Space, as you know, is really, really big. Thank you, Melinda.
the situation in Minnesota. The death of George Floyd on the streets of Minneapolis
Minneapolis.
was a grave tragedy.
A grave tragedy. Now, I'd like to remind you, whenever you hear words like this, that unless you hear specifically injustice or you relate that emotion to, you qualify that tragedy was a tragedy for racial relations in the United States and for his family, like that kind of. If you don't qualify it, it's not bad wording, Bella. It's not an accident. This is where you make it generic. And thank you so much, Natalie, because why not? I'll tell you why. Because you're here because we won with that's for all the carrots in the world.
It should never have happened.
Again, a generic statement. It should never have happened. In this situation, and I'm not saying this is how he's saying it, I'm just saying it protects the people who would rather hear otherwise. It should have never have happened. They should have killed him behind closed doors. You know what I mean? Like, listen to how you could frame this either way. Instead of saying that it should have never happened, he didn't, yeah.
It has filled Americans all over the country with horror, anger, and grief.
Yeah, all Americans, like the Charlottesville marchers, they're filled with anger and grief that riots and looting are happening because who cares what happened to George Floyd? See what I mean? You could make this statement mean anything.
Yesterday, I spoke to
Steve Roberts. Good point. It was a tragedy that someone filmed it. Right.
George's family and expressed the sorrow
You
of our entire nation.
No, you didn't. You spoke at them, and George Floyd's brother, Terrence, said you didn't even let him get a word in edgewise, and you hung up.
For their loss. I stand before you as a friend and ally to every American seeking justice and peace.
Right. And by that, I mean the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys who are just seeking justice for themselves and peace away in a separated society.
And I stand before you in firm opposition to anyone exploiting this tragedy to loot, rob, attack, and menace.
And menace. Ooh. That's the problem. Menacing. That guy's giving the creeps.
Healing.
Listen, Dennis, your days are numbered, buddy. All right? Knock it off. You and your little dog. Stop annoying your old neighbor. No more menacing, Dennis.
Hatred, justice, not chaos, are the mission.
Ziemba. Of course.
At hand.
I really want to just say, shoot them. Shoot her! But they won't let me. It's not in the magic plastic plates.
The police officers involved in this incident have been fired from their jobs. One officer has already been arrested and charged with murder. State and federal authorities are carrying out an investigation to see what further charges may be warranted, including against, sadly, the other three.
Sadly, the other three. Again, what did I say about the languaging in this? Listen to how he's saying this. Sadly, the other three, because they're being charged or because of what they did? I think he's menacing me right now.
In addition, my administration...
No, not sadly. Not sad. No. It's sad what they did, not sad that they're going to get charged. That's not sad. Right.
Nation has opened a civil rights investigation, and I have asked the Attorney General and the Justice Department to expedite it.
Great. So they're not going to slow walk it like the rest of them? Maybe if you had left in place the policing standards and practices that the Obama administration had been working on, you wouldn't. All right, never mind.
I understand the pain that people are feeling.
Yeah, he does. You totally do. Say that. Put that in the teleprompter. He totally understands, guys. Look at how he spent the last 24 hours, because he's hiding in the bunker with the lights out because of it's just too much understanding. He just, sometimes you feel like you just understand too much. I wish I didn't understand. Are you drunk? This man couldn't. He's never skipped a dessert in his life. He's never had a hungry night. He's never had anything but pressure to give him whatever grades his parents wanted him to get or he asked for. His dad was paying him $300,000 a year when he was 12 to hide the money from the government. He and his dad got busted for denying black people as renters. I understand. You don't even understand what a 3-wood versus a 5-iron is. You just play whatever they hand you.
We support the right of peaceful protesters, and we hear their pleas.
He's talking about the people with the long guns on the county courthouse steps.
But what we are now seeing on the streets of our cities
are nutcases in Confederate flags holding AR-15s and threatening politicians with death and burning them and hanging them in effigy because they will not let them go to Chick-fil-A
nothing to
after 6 o'clock on a Sunday.
Do with justice,
or I guess Monday, that Chick-fil-A is not open on Sunday. I don't eat there.
Or with peace.
With peace. Peace is so important to me.
The memory of George Floyd is being
It's already sweating. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the glisten on him right now.
Dishonored by rioters, looters, and anarchists.
Anarchists. That's our big fear right here.
The violence.
The violence. The violence.
Vandalism is being led by Antifa and other radical left-wing groups.
Oh yeah? Are they left-wing groups? Really? So the big fat dude in the Confederate flag shirt firing arrows into the crowd, the trucker who donated to your campaign who blasted through a bunch of protesters on a bridge. These are all okay. Yeah, okay.
Who are terrorizing the innocent.
Oh, is he ni hao? Is he up yet? Nope. Still late. There you go.
Destroying jobs.
Yeah, his face is greasy. He's sweating it out. I mean, it is Florida, but still. They're in a big NASA hangar.
Burning businesses and burning down buildings. The main victims of this horrible, horrible situation.
Say horrible twice. That makes it so much better. Horrible, horrible. The horror. The horror. I swallowed a bug.
Are the citizens who live in these once lovely communities.
Really? Once lovely? I think one of the problems is systemic poverty in some of these areas. So the problem is that they were once lovely is that they can't seem to get a toehold because somebody keeps shaking the crab bucket and everybody falls back down.
The mobs are devastating the life's work of good people and destroying their dreams.
Yes, we feel for Old Navy and Bank of America. Our hearts go out to Sephora and all the stores grossly affected by Jake Paul being an asshat.
Right now, America needs creation, not destruction. Cooperation.
Really? Oh, that's the plan now?
Not contempt. Security, not anarchy, and there will be no anarchy.
Security, not anarchy. And there will be no anarchy. Yeah, no kidding.
Civilization
Hey, thanks for subscribing, Johnny.
must be cherished.
Civilization. Let's all take a moment to cherish civilization. I'm cherishing it right now.
Butthole!
All right, there we go. Quality civilization.
Defended and protected. The voices of law-abiding citizens must be heard, and heard very loudly.
What? What? Do they have to yell to be heard? What are you talking about?
We cannot and must not allow a small group of criminals and vandals to wreck our
Society by residing in the White House.
cities and lay waste to our communities.
Oh, so you're resigning?
We must defend the rights of every citizen to live without violence, prejudice, or fear.
Oh, so you are resigning?
We support the overwhelming majority of police officers
The overwhelming majority of police officers. Good, okay.
who are incredible in every way.
Well, not in every way. I mean, some of them, quite frankly, they got back knee. You know, some of them are balding. Some of them have mortgage issues, and you know, their relationships, you know, do suffer because of the hours they keep and the stress it puts on them. I mean, you know, I know a couple who are heroes, but you don't want to see them eat a hot dog.
And devoted public servants. They keep our cities safe, protect our communities from gangs and drugs.
Really, that's the priority? That's what cops do. Guys, they don't. Here I thought they stopped, you know, murderers and help people who, you know, were in trouble and all this kind of. But no. It turns out job one is gangs and drugs. Psst, he means brown people.
And risk their own lives for us every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but enough about the Secret Service.
No one is more upset than fellow law enforcement officers.
Well, they are upset. I'm not downplaying how upset they would be. I'd be upset too because it endangers their lives. Hashtag Gavin Long, hashtag Young Turks got people killed. That said, they're not the most upset. I think if I had to choose someone, it would be George Floyd's mother and his brother Terrence and the rest of the family. That would be the first ones. Everybody else is dovetailing off that.
By the small handful who fail to abide by their oath to serve and protect. My administration will stop mob violence.
Mob violence. Wait, where did we turn from mob violence? What the shit? What? We were just talking about, okay, the vast majority of cops are good, agreed. And there's certainly cops within them that cause an outside amount of trouble, and they hide behind the blue wall, and they're protected by this. And it's all about their vast majority. This is the message: vast number of good cops, and there's a few bad cops that make life horrible for everybody. So we will not tolerate mob violence. What?
And we'll stop
By the way, this is a NASA speech.
it cold.
We'll stop it cold. How do you stop it cold? Okay, what does stop it cold mean? Either with cold-blooded murder yourself, meaning without empathy, you will murder people, or you will kill them and they will be cold. That's what stop it cold means. These are American citizens, even the ones breaking the law, even the ones making property damage. If somebody kills somebody, have a trial. You can judge whether or not they deserve to live for that, depending on your state. That's where we are right now. But nobody dies for property. Sorry. Nobody. Doesn't work that way. You can put them away for longer if the damage to property is greater and they've ruined someone's life because they burned their shop down. Fine. Cool. You damage their lives, they get 15, 20 years. But stopping it cold means open fire on people. That's what that means. This is all BS tough talk.
It does not serve the interest of justice or any citizen of any race.
For me to be president a day longer. Therefore,
Or a creed. For the government to give into anarchy,
What was a tongue thing right there? Anarchy.
And in police precincts, or allow communities to be burned to the ground. Won't happen.
Won't happen. Have you? What do you think was happening while you were hiding in the bunker, dummy?
Those making excuses or justifications for violence are.
I will eventually run for president, but I got to do mayor, senator, or governor. Then I'm gonna climb the ladder like a decent
Not
human being.
helping the downtrodden, but delivering new anguish and new pain.
This is a great speech. I feel so much better. Don't you feel the soothing balm of comfort pouring over you?
From day one of my administration, we
have vilified Hispanics and
made it a top priority to build up.
Oh, is he coming? He's there? Okay, hold on. Is he coming? Hold on. I'll reload the page. Did it start back up? It doesn't say he's coming.
Gentlemen, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
And I'm proud to be an American where I finally come outside. And I won't forget the pants I wear 'cause they're 13 feet wide and my face is weirdly
Thank you very
gray
much.
and tan and brown and yellow and kind of gray. And my hair looks like cotton candy mixed with poop and hay.
My fellow Americans,
Oh, here we go. It feels so much. Here it comes.
first and highest duty as president is to defend our great country and the American people.
Uh-oh. Therefore, I am instructing the army to strafe bomb.
I swore an oath to uphold the laws of our nation, and that is exactly what I will do.
So he's stepping down.
All Americans were
Yeah, my feed is behind.
rightly sickened
Yeah, it's gonna. I know I'm a little late, but we popped over. It's fine. It's okay.
and revolted by the
By my face, my breath, and my weird hiding in the basement.
brutal death of George Floyd. My administration is fully committed
Wait, are they just bombing people in the background? What's that noise?
that for George and his family, justice will be served. He will not have died in vain. But we cannot allow the righteous cries and peaceful protests.
Wow, just wait. Like, look at that pivot. Could you give less of a shit? Yeah. He died, and we won't let him die in vain. But I'm not gonna let these assholes
to be drowned out by an angry mob. The biggest victims of the rioting are peace-loving citizens in our poorest communities. And as their president, I will fight to keep them safe.
So starting when? After they've already stopped? Are you gonna do with this what you did with the pandemic? Just like, it's over. Just call it. It's over.
I will fight to protect you. I am your president of law and order.
I am your president of law and order. I am the president of the Law and Order fan club.
And an ally of all peaceful protesters.
Yeah, that's who you are. Yeah, like the Woman's March. Should we roll back the tape?
But in recent days, our nation has been gripped by professional anarchists.
Wait, a professional anarchist? Wait a second. That's like saying corporate communists. What do you mean professional anarchists?
Violent mob.
Who's paying their bills? What? Anarchy Incorporated.
Arsonists, looters, criminals, rioters, Antifa, and others.
Yeah, others. You mean like MAGA hat-wearing psychopaths?
A number of state and local governments have failed to take necessary action to safeguard their residents.
Residents? Their residents?
Innocent people have
The citizens of the country. Like, what kind of...
been savagely beaten, like the young man in Dallas, Texas, who was left dying on the street, or the woman in upstate New York viciously attacked by dangerous thugs.
Uh-huh. So we're just gonna blow off George Floyd for this. This is really just about what's happening to your presidency.
Small business owners have seen their dreams utterly destroyed. New York's
Why? Why don't you help them?
finest have been hit in the
Why don't you help them?
face with bricks. Brave nurses.
He tweeted about being hit in the face with bricks. This is a big one with him. Yeah, how about the InfoWars crew that set the homeless guy's stuff on fire and filmed it in Austin, Texas? You mean that? You mean, are you going to make Alex Jones proud?
Who have battled the virus are afraid to leave their homes. A police precinct has been overrun here in the nation's capital. The Lincoln Memorial and the World War II Memorial have been vandalized.
Yeah, and the Armenian genocide thing, absolutely. Guess what? Not by George Floyd protesters.
One of our most historic churches was set ablaze.
A place I would only go because they make me.
A federal officer in California, an African-American enforcement hero, was
Hero. They made me say that.
shot and killed. These are not acts of peaceful protest. These are acts of domestic terror. The destruction of innocent life and the spilling of innocent blood is an offense to humanity.
Is an offense?
And a crime against God.
Oh, which one? Lucifer? The beige Lucifer you worship?
America needs creation, not destruction.
Oh, yeah, we just saw that in the other speech.
Cooperation, not contempt.
Yeah, we just saw that in the other speech.
Security, not anarchy.
So, and there will be no anarchy.
Healing, not
Oh, he skipped it that time. Look at that.
hatred. Justice, not chaos.
Well, they've just tacked on some more. Ren, not Stimpy. Kate, not Allie.
This is our mission.
Sanford, not Son.
We will succeed. 100%. We will succeed. Our
100%? You can't succeed 100%. You have a burn churches and desecrated monuments. Like, you're past that. The best you can hope for is 82%. Just get to work.
country always
Abbott, not Costello. Right.
wins. That is why I am taking immediate presidential action
To commit to the use of live ammunition.
to stop the violence and restore security and safety in America.
How's that? Anybody with a MAGA bumper sticker is now legally allowed. It's ham, not birder. Cove, not Fefe.
I am mobilizing all available federal resources, civilian and military, to stop the rioting and looting, to end the destruction and arson, and to protect the rights of law-abiding Americans, including your Second Amendment rights.
Yeah, which means take up arms. Anybody who's got a gun, civilian, go knock yourself out. Go shoot looters. What the shit is that? He just said civilian and now we're going to Second Amendment. What do you think this is code for? Christ.
Therefore, the following measures are going into
More foot, less locker.
effect immediately. First, we are ending the riots and lawlessness
And lawlessness. Lawlessness. Hi, Frank Lawless.
that has spread throughout our country. We will end it now.
How? How? Are you going to end it? What are you going to do? How are you going to end it?
Today, I have strongly recommended to every governor
I strongly recommended that they get tanks and run people over.
to deploy the National Guard in sufficient numbers that we dominate the streets.
Dominate this. Just, That's right. We're getting wicked with these protesters. Protesters, get out your ball gags. It's time to go Sally. Come on. Sally forth.
Mayors
Dominate. What a wuss. Good Lord. He can't end it. You're right. That's up to the governors to decide how they, oh my God, dominate, you pathetic fart.
Governors must establish an overwhelming law enforcement presence until the violence has been quelled. If a city or state refuses to take the actions that are necessary to defend the life and property of their residents, then I will deploy the United States
Citizens.
military and quickly solve the problem
How do you quickly solve the problem? What are you talking about?
for them.
For them. What do you mean quickly solve the problem for them? I don't get it. What do you mean? He means open fire on people.
I am also
Because
taking swift and decisive action to protect our great capital, Washington, D.C.
oh, that's where it is. Oh God. And where were you yesterday when we were all playing Family Trivial Pursuit? I had no idea. Guys, it was me. It's Washington, D.C. Oh, I thought the nation's capital was Tacoma. I don't know why I got,
What happened in this city last night was a total disgrace.
Okay, great. Total disgrace. How many times have we heard that phrase?
As we speak,
Was it like Mueller report total disgrace? Or was it like Democrats looking for your taxes total disgrace? Or was it like an Epstein kind of thing?
I am dispatching thousands and thousands of heavily armed soldiers.
Great. Okay. Will they have the vaccine with them? What are they going to do? Give Americans shots? Thank you, Jenny. Thanks for the super chats, you guys. I don't know. I don't think I missed anybody. Thank you, Jill Carter. Thank you so much. And thank you, Tara McMahon, for Carrot as well.
Military personnel and law enforcement officers to stop the rioting, looting, vandalism, assaults, and the wanton destruction of property.
How? What are you going to do that the cops aren't doing?
We are putting everybody on warning. Our 7 o'clock curfew will be strictly enforced.
Strictly enforced. So death. Death? How strict are we talking? Oh, he means tied up and spanked. We're gonna dominate you bitches. That's right.
Those who threaten innocent life and property will be arrested, detained, and prosecuted to the...
But if you threaten people he thinks are guilty with property that they shouldn't have, it's a matter of opinion, you know? I mean, you should threaten them.
Fullest extent of
Right?
the law. I want the organizers of this terror to be on notice that you will face severe criminal penalties and lengthy sentences in jail. This includes...
Yeah, when they get busted. I'm sorry, Lowrider Scott.
Antifa.
He just wants to dominate. It's all a part of it.
And others who are leading instigators of this violence.
Yeah, so use COINTEL type of things to track these guys down when they're actually causing trouble, like you should be doing with white nationalist groups as well.
One.
That's what intelligence is for. Enemies, foreign and domestic. One. A singular sensation everywhere. Please break into song and just lose your friggin' mind right now. It would make us all feel so much better.
Law and order. And that is what it is.
What? One law and order?
Of this violence. One law and order. And that is what it is. One law. We have one beautiful law.
No, we have like literally thousands of laws. Why do you think there's such a thing as third-degree murder, manslaughter, depraved indifference? We have lots of laws. We have one law. There's only real one law and order. That SVU bullshit. They did one that was basically about me and Epstein, and I don't think that's real. Is that canon? Is SVU canon? Because I call bullshit.
And once that is restored and fully restored, we will help you.
Thank you, Lisa Mia Moore.
We will help your business, and we will help your family. America is founded upon the rule of law. It is the foundation of our prosperity, our freedom, and our very way of life.
Thanks. So 1524 Scooter, thank you so much. You doing okay, by the way? just saw that one. Thank you.
But where there is no law, there is no opportunity.
What? Yeah, it's a beautiful law, like beautiful. It's a beautiful giant slice of law. Where there is no law, there is no opportunity. I would say technically, criminals would disagree. I mean, actually, I think some criminals, like yourself, for example, use the law for opportunities. You know, loopholes being what they are.
Where there is no justice, there is no liberty.
No, you can have absolute liberty and no justice whatsoever. Liberty is just random. That's why we have, like, regulated freedom in this country. Well, I'm proud to be an American. Well, we've got regulated freedom because it's running wild. Maniac gunslingers killed everybody in town, and it used to really suck when we lived in the Old West and killed everybody. I don't know.
There is no safety, there is no future.
Where there is no safety, there is no future. Well, it depends on what we're going to talk about. Are we talking about like stub your toe kind of dangerous, or are we talking about killing? Because obviously your future ends pretty quickly. This is gibberish, by the way. I don't know what the shit this guy is talking about. Where there...
We must never give in to anger or hatred.
What?
If malice or violence reigns, then none of us is free.
So, look at that. What is this? Where's all the people who are like, I told you lizard people ran the world. They dress like human beings and they in charge of everything. You can tell because they always, when they giving a speech, they all stick their tongue out. I learned that on InfoWars right before they set fire to some poor homeless guy's mattress.
I take these actions today
to appear macho and then return back into the bunker where I will poop myself silly.
With firm resolve and with a true and passionate love for our country. By
our country, he barely could get it out.
Far our greatest days lie ahead.
Why? Because you made these suck so bad?
Thank you very much. And now I'm going to pay my respects to a very, very special place. Thank you very much.
I'm going to go pay my What is he going to the bathroom? I have to poo. I have to take a dump. I'm going to pay my respects to a very special place. And he leaves. Second time he's done one of these and not taken a question. Chicken shit. Not even looking back. Look at this. Look at that. Pitiful. 2 days in a row. Not 2 days in a row. 2 speeches in a row. And nothing. Wow. That was glorious. That is, that's some beauty. Thank you so much, Christina F. Criminy. I'm going to go see a man about a mule. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to drop the kids off at the pool. Now, if you'll wait for me, I've got to go call Putin. Because you guys saw that, right? You guys saw that he spoke to Putin today? And I think it was just to get permission to say stuff. Like, you go ahead. Yeah, you can make like little statement or something like this. You know, just have whatever you have, man. It's okay. You know, just do what you'd like. Let me see if I can. Miller wrote this speech. Everybody is like, okay. I'm gonna find something real quick. Trump call with governors. There's audio from it today. Thanks, Rob. Good to see you, man. Hope you're all right. Oh, wait a minute. Washington Post has the entire phone call of Trump calling them doobity-doo. Oh, there's going to be an ad. I apologize ahead of time for the beginning of this. I'm just going to turn that up. It's an IBM app. Cities are sharing testing information. Retailers are keeping customers updated. And banks are helping families. Since when? Spend less time on hold. Let's get to it. IBM. This is going to be good. This is just audio, so.
We're going to take care of it. And we've got a number of people here that you'll be seeing a lot of. General Milley is here, who's head of Joint Chiefs of Staff, a fighter, a warrior, had a lot of victories, had no losses. And he hates to see the way it's being handled in the various states, and I've just put him in charge. The Attorney General is here, right here, Bill Barr.
By the way, am I supposed to be impressed that you put a military leader in charge when we're dealing with civilians? Even the ones that are criminal? Like, why wouldn't you put a law enforcement official in charge? You know, somebody who's brought up in the idea that everybody has Miranda rights, all this stuff. I saw a chunk of this audio Templeton's a rat earlier today, just a little piece of it, but they grabbed it.
And we will
I have no doubt somebody was taping this just because there is no way you just let this slide. You know what I mean? Like, what kind of madness? Here, we'll go to, like, this is the page itself. And you can see the kind of ads they assume I like. Who thinks I wear drapey, like, Miami Vice pajamas? What? There's something severely off about my Google ad search stuff. I mean, I don't even wear earth tones, although I should. I look fantastic. I just feel like they wash me out. You know what I mean? Because I'm more of a winter.
Bill Barr and activate him very strongly.
You're going to activate Bill Barr. He said this multiple times. I don't know. Does Bill Barr, like, hang on a hook with his batteries taken out until you need him?
We're strongly, and Secretary of Defense is here, we're strongly looking for arrests.
We're strongly looking for arrests. Yeah, they've arrested thousands of people.
You have to get much tougher. You're going to get...
What do you get? What's much tougher than cop cars running over protesters, people getting pushed down, rubber bullets in the face? What do you mean much tougher? Just kill them? Because that's pretty much it. Like, there is only one way. Yeah, it's totally a Ron Burgundy moment.
Overridden. I know Governor Walz is on the phone, and we spoke. And I fully agree with the way he handled it the last couple of days. I asked him to do that. Get a lot of men. We have all the men and women that you need. But people aren't calling them up. You have to dominate. If you don't dominate, you're wasting your time. They're going to run over.
If you don't dominate, you got to smack them. Give them a big old spanking. Go out there. What you need to do is go out there, and I think all the police should be in assless chaps and cod pieces and with those nipple clamps. Let them know you mean business.
You're going to look like a bunch of jerks.
You're going to look like, if you don't dominate, you're going to look like a bunch of jerks. Yeah, because that's what the people burning stuff down are doing. They're like, look at these jerks. These guys are jerks.
You have to dominate. And you have to arrest people, and you have to try people. And they have to...
Well, yeah, there's a little time between those two, right? I mean, honestly, there's a little, like, you arrest people, the trial has, speedy trial, but not that speedy. I don't know when, like, hang them by dawn? Is that what we're doing? Is it just frontier justice? I'm Sheriff Trump.
Go to jail for long periods of time. I saw what happened in Philadelphia. I saw what happened in Dallas where
Me too. Like, Apollo Creed should have taken it. I mean, he was the champion. And then this upstart from the east side just running all over the city in some ratty... Oh, something else in Philadelphia. Sorry, my bad. I thought I was talking about it. I saw this guy running up the stairs and he did this thing. It was really inspiring, but that my mistake.
Kicked the guy to death. I don't know if he died or not, but if he didn't, it's a miracle what they did to him. They were kicking him like I've never seen anything like it in my life. People don't...
You've never seen anything like it in your life? You see videos straight from Afghanistan. What are you talking about?
Talk about that. They don't talk about that. They're talking about A lot of other things, but they don't talk about that. But I saw.
Yeah, they are. Is Fox News not covering it enough for you? Is that maybe you should call Fox News and go, why aren't you guys covering the people who are being killed?
Happened in Dallas. And those
Thanks,
kids, they're all on camera. They're wise guys.
They're wise guys. That's the thing. They're wise guys. These guys come down here,
And it's coming from the radical left. You know,
Is it? Is it really?
but everybody knows it, but it's also looters, and it's people that figure they can get free stuff by running into stores and running out with television sets. I saw it. Where
Yeah, so. Yeah, get a handle on looting. You don't kill people for looting. You arrest them, you film them, you go knock on their door, you go, hey, Charlie, we got footage of you. This is you. You're going to jail. Oh, I have not, Patricia, but I will, because I only see that in the mini feed that I'm up there. I'm sorry if I've missed them, Cosmic Rose, but I thank you for noticing them, and thanks for the super hearts, everybody. I will, if I missed any, I apologize. I will give you a thank at one point.
kid has a
This is Trump talking to governors. The governors will pipe in a second, and I'll try and keep it clear who's who as
lot of
best I can.
stuff. He puts it in the back of a brand new car and drives off.
Did he steal that too? Are they looting cars? Oh my gosh. What's happening? Why aren't we shooting that guy for a television set? That guy got a free TV. Why are we not ending his life? Why would we want to just photograph the scene while securing the area and then arrest him for theft later? How about that?
You have every one of these guys on tape. Why are
Right. That's why you don't have to shoot them while they're running.
you prosecuting them? Now, the harder you are, the tougher.
I am on Twitch, by the way. I'm on Twitch and YouTube and Periscope right now, all at once.
You are, the less likely it is that you're going to be hit. There's a movement. We found out they're delivering supplies to various places in various states. Your people know about it now.
Yeah, they know about it too. The FBI's been talking to people. The AGs in all the states have been talking about coordinated efforts. They know about this. Everybody's a little late to the game in the beginning of it because they couldn't believe some people could be so crass. Now they know, and they're on it. They don't need people shooting the other protesters because there might be people getting free TVs or instigators ratcheting up the violence so some asshole orders cops and soldiers to shoot American citizens. Are we on that person's side?
But we found out many things. It's like a movement. And
It's like a movement.
movement that if you don't put it down, it'll get worse and worse. This is like
If you don't put it down.
Occupy Wall Street. It was a disaster until
Whoa. So Occupy Wall Street should have been put down.
one day somebody said, that's enough, and they just went in and wiped them out. Until last time I heard the name Occupied Wall Street, until today when I heard about it. I heard Occupied Wall Street. I haven't heard about it.
Yeah, nobody's ever heard the name Occupy Wall Street. But okay. I heard about that on the interwebs.
About it today for the first time in a long time. They were there for forever, it seemed, on Wall Street.
No, they were there for months.
They closed up Wall Street, the financial district.
Did they? Was the Dow completely shut down during Occupy Wall Street? Do you guys remember that when the entire Dow was shut down? Me neither.
The world, and they had total domination. They were ordering pizzas.
The domination of Occupy Wall Street. They were all occupied with dominating. That's right. They were just wrap them up and. He's got a big domination thing. Yeah.
Nobody did anything.
It's what he fears the most, I think.
And then one day, somebody said, "That's enough. You're getting out of here within 2 hours." And it was bedlam for an hour, and then after that, everything was beautiful.
It was bedlam for an hour. Really?
And that was
Is that how it worked out?
Time we heard about it. But these are the same people.
Thank you, Bumblebee Yellow.
The radicals, and They're anarchists. They're anarchists, whether you like it or not. I know some of you guys.
Do you like it or do you not like anarchy? Just for the record, anarchists are a joke. I'll just say that outright. We had anarchy. All over the world, tribes lived in anarchy. They didn't have structured governments, and they either got rolled over and murdered by groups that formed governments or formed societies, or they faded into nothingness because they couldn't get their act together enough to figure out who would get the food and who would make the food and who would prepare the food and who would save the food while worrying about the next village over that might try to attack them for the food that they were making, gathering, making, prepping, making, and preserving. Just saying. Like the number of anarchists in pre-printed Hot Topic t-shirts. Yeah.
Different persuasion, and that's okay. I fully understand.
Different persuasion. If you're a governor who likes anarchy, some of them you just do. It's just your thing.
I understand both. I'm for everybody. I'm representing everybody. I'm not representing radical right, radical left. I'm representing everybody.
Uh-huh.
But you have to know what you're dealing with. And
who am I dealing with?
And it's happened before.
Did it? When did it happen before? You mean in the 60s?
It's happened numerous times. And the only time it's successful is when you're weak. And most of you are weak.
The only time it's successful is when you're weak.
And I will say this.
By the way, I don't know who recorded this. Let's see. It doesn't say who was on the phone call. I don't think. I mean, I haven't read forward in that, but it doesn't say it in its description. Just as obtained by them. So whoever's listening is snickering occasionally, and you can hear it.
Got on in Los Angeles. I have a friend who lives in Los Angeles. They say all the storefronts are
He doesn't have any friends.
gone. They're all broken and gone. The merchandise is gone.
Terrible. How are they going to replace their merchandise if we're not getting stuff from China anymore?
It's a shame. It didn't look as bad as that to me. Maybe it was...
Maybe your friend was lying to you.
Sunshine. I don't know. But in Los Angeles, the storefronts are gone. Philadelphia's a mess. Philadelphia, what happened there is horrible. And that was on television. They're breaking into stores and...
And Adam, Tony Robbins, when he's calling out people for being weak, is trying to make them strong. Trump is bragging about his own strength. By the way, and he spent all last night in a bunker.
He showed up to even stop him.
Like Hitler without Ava.
There was nobody showed up to stop them.
Yes, they did.
Washington, they had large groups, very large groups. They attacked the AFL-CIO building. So they attacked, in theory, their friends, which is very interesting.
Oh, that's their friends then. So maybe in attacking it, maybe that's not their friends. Maybe they did know who they were spray painting and they just didn't care. They were just instigators, and they didn't care who the attacks hit, and they didn't pay attention because they were just doing targets based on physical proximity, not on the meaning of the target itself. Because it's the violence is supposed to look random. I mean, unless you think they were like Armenians spray painting the Armenian genocide monument just to own the libs.
But Washington was under very good control, but we're going to have it under much more control. We're going to pull in thousands of people. We were under guard of the D.C. police, the mayor of Washington, D.C.
Yeah, it's her city.
And Secret Service did a very good job around the White House, but
because that's their area.
Their primary function is around the White House.
Oh, guys. And for all of you who thought that they were in charge of protecting Comet Ping Pong or whatever.
And we're going to clamp down very, very strong.
Great. So you're just going to start killing people.
You got to arrest people. You have to try people. You have to put them in jail for 10 years, and you'll never see this stuff again. And
yeah, you will. It's mostly young people. People who are that much older don't tend to do this, except when they're MAGA hat wearing guys firing arrows into crowds. But yeah, put those guys in jail too.
Let them know that. They're trying to get people out on bail in Minneapolis.
Twitter just did a photo op holding a Bible in front of St. John's Church. Oh, good Lord.
I understand they're in there trying to get all these guys
out on bail. So
Yeah, the ones who aren't instigators.
you have him on tape, you have him on television. In history,
Yeah, not looters. People aren't trying to bust out the looters and give them a second chance, and they're not trying to get out the instigator. They're trying to get people who were innocently scooped up in this.
there's never been anybody taped so much committing a crime. You have these guys throwing rocks. Yeah, you could.
Well, then they're going to end up going to jail, even if they get bailed out. Where do you think they're going?
They showed it last night on one of the stations on one of the networks throwing a big brick, and they had him.
This is a brick thing. It's so much like,
slow motion replay.
Oh, so you had time to take your pants down, is what you're saying?
They put him like it's like
Did they dominate?
a fielder catching a ball or throwing a ball. They have him in slow motion replay. You see exactly who he is. Everybody knows. You'll find out exactly. You have everybody is on tape.
Yeah, and they'll get arrested. But you don't roll in and shoot everybody in the crowd for those guys because you're filming everybody. Then you track them down. You follow them. You have people in the crowds who are police officers or plainclothes people who aren't there to drive up the violence, who are there to watch who the instigators are so that the real protesters can go, that guy's causing trouble. And then they track that person, get them out of there if they're going to continue doing it. And if they sneak off, you follow them, you arrest them, or like they did with the dude who set fire to the church.
You got to arrest all those people.
Thanks, Brian.
And you got to try them.
Thank you.
And if they get 5 years...
Thank you guys for all your Patreon support, by the way. I love you guys. I can't tell you. It's just beautiful. You're wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If that's not the way you like to do things, you can always super chat the show, and then you can also paypal.me/HalSparks. Great way to do it. Thank you. Bless you.
10 years. They have to get 5 years or 10 years. There's no retribution. So I say that, and the word is dominate. If you don't dominate your city and your state, they're going to walk away with you. And we're doing it in Washington and D.C. We're going to do something that
Thank you, Krista.
People haven't seen before.
Great. So what haven't we seen before? We haven't seen a full-on Tiananmen Square. We haven't seen just like rifles and then just blazing right into crowds as they run in like some scene out of Last of the Mohicans. We haven't seen that.
But you're going to have total domination.
Thank you,
Jenny. And then you have to put them in jail.
Thank you, Hez.
And you have to authorize whatever it is, whoever it is you authorize. And with that, I'll let Bill Barr say a few words that are going to happen.
You got to authorize, you got to let whoever it is. Thanks, Jill.
General Milley speak.
And, yeah.
Let's go, Bill.
Go, Bill Milley. Hit him. Tell him what you're going to do. Tell him what time it is, McCluskey. Tell him what time it is.
Tell him, McCluskey. Tell him what time it is.
Well, I know situations vary around the country, but it seems that some of the common dimensions are we have the normal protesters, you have opportunistic people like looters, but in many places, if not most places, you have this ingredient of extremist, anarchist types, agitators who are driving.
And white supremacists, Proud Boys, MAGA hat supporters of the president.
In the violence. Law enforcement response is not going to work.
Uh-oh. We got to the second level. Donkey Kong's coming in.
Unless we dominate the streets, as the president said. We have to control.
Bill's getting in on the domination. Domination.
The streets. If we treat these as demonstrations, the police are pinned back, guarding places, and don't.
They're not pinned back. They could always roll forward and murder people, but they are peace officers. They are not military.
Have the dynamic ability to go out and arrest the troublemakers. They're just standing in a line watching the events.
Yeah, because you can clean stuff up later and you can arrest people that you have video of.
Disperse them.
All you do, thank you for the Common Domination Fund. Yes, this is to buy a brand new ball gag for the future Domination Club, and for and a brand new broom for the Broom Brigade.
Crowds.
Thank you,
Crowds
Natalie.
are running off in different directions and create havoc, going looting and other things.
Proud Boys are not white supremacists. People like you give us lefties a bad name. No, your behavior gives you a bad name, and I would conflate some of your members with white supremacists. Not all of them, though.
We have to control the crowds and not react to what's happening on the street. And that requires a strong presence.
Yes, this is recorded surreptitiously. I think at the same time. But
in many places, we think it will require the National Guard. And when there's a strong presence, not just an adequate presence to defend buildings, but a strong presence to
somebody, whoever's listening to this, is typing this out. So the reporter who did this, if you look for a quote from Barr or a quote from Trump that just happened, that's them typing it. So you can pretty much find out who did this or where they got this tape from or how they got it and who released it, either at the Washington Post or somebody else online that they gave it to. You can tell who they are by which posts come up with what quotes.
To control the crowd.
Hear it? Hear them?
Things are quieting down, as in Minneapolis.
Yeah, things are quieting down. So it's a perfect time for Trump to come out and bang his chest like a bitch.
Places may not require the National Guard. I think that New Jersey so far has been doing a very good job with the state police and the New York police. And we'll see what happens there. But the key is you have to have adequate force.
They have adequate force. They have to have the wisdom when and to use it and when not to use it. That's the problem.
Law enforcement, including federal law enforcement, working with your state and local law enforcement, to be more dynamic and to go after the troublemakers, to go after the guys who are peddling the bricks and the Molotov cocktails. The very few.
Yeah, but you have to push into the crowds, and a lot of the people in the crowds don't even know who amongst them is the instigator and who isn't until it's too late. And as you push in, the people try to lay down a unified front to keep the crowd together so they don't get harmed or you don't stomp on somebody who doesn't deserve it, and the bad actors pierce through and run away. That's the whole point. That's how you instigate and ruin these situations. That's why you have plainclothes and other people in there watching for him, like the dude who caught the kid who got the gun out of the police car, took it from him, emptied it, and they took him down.
People are running around lighting fires. They have to be taken off the streets and arrested and processed.
Anybody with Satan Dynasty Killa in their name, I'm not going to actually take anything you have to say seriously, but good luck with your rap career.
What we're going to use is the Joint Terrorist Task Force, which I know most of you are familiar with. It's a tried and true system. It's worked for domestic homegrown terrorists, and we're going to apply that model. It already integrates your state and local people, and it's intelligence-driven, and it will go operational. We want to lean forward and charge federally anyone who violates a federal law in connection with this rioting. But we need to have people in control of the streets.
Well, then good. Go after people who are instigating as part of a hate crime. Use the hate crime statutes to single out the white supremacists and the people who are doing this to drive up the violence so that black people get shot, because those are the prime movers and the most dangerous ones. The abject young'uns who are running around stealing shoes aren't the problem. These guys are.
Go out and work with law enforcement, state and local law enforcement.
Brandy, I want you to breathe. I want you to understand that history has a way of flowing, and we are all part of the Broom Brigade, and we will digest this stuff and become more peaceful from it.
Find these people in the crowds, isolate them, and pull them out and prosecute them. So, the best example, I alluded to it a couple of seconds ago, is Minneapolis. It was incredible what happened in the state of Minnesota. They were a laughing stock all over the world. They took over the police department. The police were running down the street, sirens blazing, the rest of them running. It was on camera. And then they wiped out. You probably have to build a new one, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, they will. They can put up a new building. It's that or open fire on a bunch of people and seriously chance murdering a bunch of civilians that didn't have it coming.
Anything like it, and the whole world was laughing. 2 days.
No, nobody's laughing at this. They take this very seriously. This happens in other countries too.
3 days later, I spoke to the governor. The governor.
Nobody's sitting there. Your buddies are sitting there going, Minneapolis, ha. That's what right-wingers do. That's what you're doing.
the call, and he's an excellent guy. And all of a sudden, and I said, you got to use the National Guard in big numbers. They didn't at first, then they did. And I'll tell you that.
What I said, Kent State, and I hung up. He got the point.
I don't know what it was. It was, Governor, it was the third night, fourth night. Those guys walked through that stuff like it was butter. They walked
like it was butter.
right through, and you haven't had any problems since. I mean, they know they're not going to go there. Now they'll go to some other place. But once you called out and you dominated, you took the worst place and you made it.
It's all about domination. Domination.
They didn't even cover it last night because there was so little action. Because you dominated. You dominated. Now, what happens in New York, I have to tell you, I live in Manhattan.
You don't live in Manhattan. You don't even live in Florida. You're committing voter fraud right now. You are not allowed to live at Mar-a-Lago. It is not a residence. You're an asshole.
Going on in Manhattan, I have no idea. New York's finest. They got to be allowed maybe to do their jobs. I don't know what's happening in Manhattan, but it's terrible. And because it's New York, because it's Manhattan, it gets a lot of press. So they really spend a lot of time on it. But New York has got to have to toughen up. And we'll see.
Yeah, that's always been New York's problem. It's just not tough enough. Come on, New Yorkers.
Your National Guard, if you want. You have the largest police force in the country, 40,000 people, I understand.
There ain't but 40,000 cops in the whole town. Can you dig it?
But what's going on in New York is terrible.
They shot Cyrus. The Warriors did it. The Warriors.
It's terrible.
Thanks, Jumpy.
Of all the places. What went on last night in Los Angeles with the stores and the storefronts is terrible. No domination.
Yeah, those were right-wingers.
You have to dominate. Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
Go ahead. Tell them how you dominate. Go ahead.
Something the president said reminded me.
Oh, great.
The reason, we have to control the streets is not just to bring peace to that town, but to give us the opportunity to get the bad actors, because they are going to go elsewhere. We're picking up.
Look, I happen to be a fine actor. I'm very good at what I do. But on behalf of the bad actors that I have worked with, I take great offense at that.
Information.
And I've worked with a few.
When they run into a tough nut with a strong police force and National Guard, they're looking.
Mnuchin is not there. He isn't presently there. But, Mr. President, we will, we have plenty of loans available at a premium to anyone who has been disenfranchised by this.
For secondary targets in cities where they can go and overwhelm the local police forces. So in several of your states, that's what we're hearing. So that's why it's so imperative. We can't play whack-a-mole with these people. We have to take out the professional instigators.
You can't play whack-a-mole with these people. You have to take out potential instigators. What goes from potential in the instigation world into deserving being taken out? Where do you cross that line? The first time you hit the window, or after it cracks, or when do you open fire? Oh, you said professional? Thank you. I appreciate that. Professional is. Oh, sorry. So do you have to see their bank stub before you take them out? Instigators will only be shot if they are employed but have not filled out a 1099.
To do that is to start with a strong statement in the major cities. If you're weak and don't dominate your streets, they're going to stay with you until you finally do it.
You gotta dominate, baby. You gotta dominate. Otherwise, it's like I don't know. It's like we need Caesar the dog whisperer to come out there and just show you guys how to with all them. And when I say I mean open fire.
And you don't want that. Philadelphia,
no.
You better toughen up, because what's going on in Philadelphia, like New York, is terrible. It's terrible. You better toughen up. They'll never leave. I know you want.
They'll never leave. Yes, it's just gonna be. It's just gonna be like Thunderdome. Ain't we a pair, Raggedy Man? I can get you whatever you need, but I need 6 camels, my car back, and a midget.
Say, let's not call up the guard, or let's call up 200 people. You've got a big National Guard out there that's ready to come in and fight like hell.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's not the solution. When you're trying to tamp down something based on how officials used violence against citizens, you don't send people in to, quote, fight like hell against the large group of them, the majority of whom are nonviolent and are simply showing unrest.
I tell you, the best.
Where is Rudy Giuliani? I think he's spending time with his son, Eric Trump.
They did in Minneapolis was incredible. They went in and dominated.
They didn't go in and dominate. They structurally segmented the streets and reacted peacefully with people. They reached out to members of the community. They had the community isolating the instigators for them.
And it happened immediately. All of a sudden, my wife said to me, wow, look at all those people. They got out, they were wearing dark black uniforms. They got out.
Yeah. What color were they?
And they got out, and they were there in the...
I don't understand why. Were they wearing black to look black? I don't understand. Was this like a Rachel Dolezal kind of a thing?
And they just walked
Hi, Amy.
right down the street, knocking them out with tear gas. Those guys, they were running. And the next night it was much less. And then the next night, it's like, you know what happened? They went to other cities. They're all looking for weak spots. Now what?
That's where they went. They all left Minneapolis. That's what happened. They all left Minneapolis and drove to Baltimore.
They're going to do is they're going to search out for perhaps smaller cities, smaller places. You got to arrest these people. Got to arrest.
Yeah, they are. They're arresting thousands of people. But
these people, and you got to charge them, and you can't do the.
You got to judge them. You can't just give them a trial. You got to go. You, sir, I find wanting in terms of character.
Where they get 1 week.
You are not an upright individual.
Yeah, these are terrorists. These are terrorists. They're looking to do bad things to our country.
They're looking to do bad things to our country. Thank you, 8-year-old. Excuse me, can you go back in the other room? The adults are speaking, and we're going to use some grown-up words.
They're Antifa, and they're radical left.
Are they radical left? Are they radical left? Like communists? They're the ones? All right.
And the reason you have other radicals...
Thank you, Julie.
...is because they've been watching this for years, many years, and they don't...
Really, just every time you turn around, it's the radical left throwing, firebombing Sephoras.
Like it.
You know, it's all those communists who want Vans and Sephora makeup. They all the Taylor Swift commies. Thanks, Hal Vickery.
And go back and study Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah, go study that. Like, I mean, it's...
You'll see the way that ended was a thing of beauty. Everybody said, I can't believe how easy it was.
Yeah, they just went home.
An hour of bedlam. And when it was all over, it was a...
Yeah, because they waited and waited and waited for it to peter out.
Beautiful thing. And that's the way it has to end.
It was a beautiful thing. It was adorable.
For you, all right, Secretary of Defense. Thank you, Mr. President. If I can build on your comments and Attorney General's comments to give some quick stats. So,
oh look, there's a Hoosier Brewing Company hand sanitizer uses approved HDA 80% alcohol, so you can inject that right into your lungs, like the president says. Please do not inject it into your lungs because it will leave you dead and screaming in pain.
Of course, Department of Defense remains in full support of the states, the governors, the Department of Justice, federal law.
He and Barr are just sitting elbow to elbow around this phone, aren't they?
You say something next.
Right now, we have 17,000 folks deployed in the National Guard in 29 states. But I will tell you, the bulk of the states have fewer than 200 people. Fewer than 200 people deployed in the bulk of the states that call up their guard. So
yeah, including Minneapolis, and they managed to get a handle on their situation.
The President and the AG have rightly pointed out, Minneapolis, Minnesota has done a fantastic job. By Saturday morning, after the Chairman told Chiefs of Staff and I spoke to the governor, they increased their presence tenfold, and I think the evidence was clear come Saturday night and Sunday night. And so, at my urging, I agree, we need to dominate the battle space.
Regarding your potatoes.
You have deep resources in the Guard. I stand ready. The Chairman stands ready. The head of the National Guard stands ready to fully support you in terms of helping mobilize the Guard.
Yeah, whatever you need to do. We will roll in tanks and earth movers whatever you need to just squash this rebellion.
Once it was reluctantly aroused. It was hard to get it aroused, and it is hard to get it aroused, but we got it aroused.
But you got to dominate it.
What they need to do, again, most of the guard has not been called up. There's only a few states. In fact, I count 2 states where more than 1,000 troops have been called up. I think this.
Yeah, because they don't need them. They don't want them. They would rather handle it some other way. As bad as it is, it would be a lot worse if you had more than 1,000 troops marching in and with big guns scaring the shit out of everybody and ratcheting up the violence.
Sooner that you mass and dominate.
I'm enamored by Sis's typing. Totally. Whoever it
battle
is.
Space, the quicker this dissipates, and we can get back to the right normal. Sure. I don't know what it is politically when you don't want to call out people. They're ready, willing, and able. They want to fight for the country. I don't know what it is. Someday you'll have to explain it to me. But it takes so long to call them up. We're waiting for you. We're shocked in certain areas, L.A. We're shocked that you're not using the greatest resource you can use, and they're training.
Yeah, the greatest resource you can use is not more people with guns. I got news for you. In a civil unrest around the overt use of violence by the government, a larger show of force by the government is not always the way to quell that part of it. What you do, because the genuine unrest part of it, the people who do care about this issue, will start swelling the streets even more and be drawn down there. But if you can find ways to reach out to the community leaders and dispel the regular protests, then the anarchists and the MAGA hat guys with the bows and arrows will be on the streets by themselves, and you just grab them up that way. They'll continue to do this, but the real protesters will have either formed a legitimate march with a day where they're making their statement known, but if the minute you get down there with people marching in with giant walls, they're like, well, this is on now.
This stuff, and they're incredible. Why you're not calling them up? I don't know, but you're making a mistake because you're making yourself look like fools.
Oh yeah, that's the problem. They look like fools.
And some have done a great job. A lot of you, it's not good. It's very bad for our country, you know.
Yeah, I know he doesn't understand.
Other countries watch this. They're watching us, and they say, boy, they're really a pushover.
Yeah, because in those countries, they just murder large groups. So there's like Putin. I talked to him today, and he was like, I don't understand why you don't just make them all go up on 3rd floor, push them out the window. Problem is solved.
And we can't be.
Why don't you be tough guy? Solve the problem. Push all the people out the window.